Hello, my name is Jackie, and I welcome you to this transmission. I am feeling the collective that wants to take a step, a very bold step, into creating something powerful for you. This is not new. This is something that you've been wanting for a while, and it's not materializing because you constantly get stuck in mental chains that deny your own power. I have some notes here because I did a meditation before, so I would know who I'm speaking to. And there's this question that came up. Are you living life in a loop? Time to stand in your power, setting yourself free, to step into a bigger role. Okay. I know that I am talking to a group of people that have had like a spiritual awakening a while ago. That is the kind of a collective that I speak to. And I know you've done it. And it's very disappointing when you reach a point in which what you were doing is not working anymore. It requires for you to level up again. And there's a big resistance to this level up because it means that there's a part of you that needs to be sacrificed. And that part of you could be a very meaningful thing that you still see a lot of value in, but it can no longer come with you to the next chapter. So stepping into your power in this case means that you recognize this and you act anyway. You break the loop that you are in because you need to step into a bigger role. Also, the term lethal humility came to mind when I was meditating on who I will be talking to today. Lethal humility. It's the kind of humility that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone but to themselves. To themselves. It's to build that self-trust with yourself that you are going to do what you say you're going to do, that you are going to pick a direction and you're going to stick with it. You're going to do what's required to reach that next step. And this sort of humility it's the one that walks around with undeniable power, doing things, making choices that others look at you and say, I would never be able to do that. But you are so clear in your vision and where you're going that it's a no-brainer. It's just what's required. And going through that pain, it's no longer such a torture because there's meaning in the pain. You chose it. That is the kind of energy that you access when you make the choice to choose what is most meaningful to you. So there is something that you need to do in order to access this truth for yourself. And whatever it looks like for you, you need to get into that place of calmness and clarity. You need to probably journal a lot to really pin down and identify what it is that you value, because the choices become more clear when you really get in touch with what you value, not what others want you to value, not what society thinks you should value, but what you actually valued. That is when you actually become powerful, because you know where you're going and there is no stopping you. So another thing with this lethal humility is that you stay a person that is curious, you stay teachable, you stay open to learning, Even though you could be the one leading the whole room, there is that humility to you to understand that there's so much to know, that you can't possibly know everything. So you always stay open to learning. And this is another approach that is very hard to apply. It's easy to comprehend, right? It's easy to make sense of it as to why it's powerful, but it's really hard to apply, because that means that you become less rigid and you flow more with what is unfolding in front of you. You no longer think you know the answers to how the world works and stay rigid and unchanging. This is paradoxical with the whole thing of us being unwavering in our convictions. But that is something else. There are a few differences that need to be established. Why both things are true, but not in every single situation. Every situation has its own set of nuances, details, and context. So that's why that unwavering kind of mindset, I couldn't think of the word, mindset, does not really apply in what I'm saying here. It's more of staying humble and staying open to accessing information that could change your mind, so that you evolve in your consciousness. Okay, so somebody also with lethal humility is somebody that acknowledges their flaws, right? There's a grace and there's a clarity in owning your shadow and loving it and having no shame about it. It makes you really powerful because it doesn't make you hesitate every move that you make, because you know that you have the humility to recognize when you are wrong and when you need to reroute, when you need to apologize, when you need to make it up to someone. And that is such a beautiful thing that people can have. And I know that this is the kind of person that you are. This is why I'm telling you all of this, because I know this is the kind of person that you are at your core. And I know that at this point it's really hard to feel that embodiment of that new person, because there is a very big ask from the universe to let go of something that you still are very attached to. What is the next step in your evolution? Recognize it. Look at it. Feel it. What is it that you are doing? Who are you hanging out with? Look at it. Feel into it. And make a decision. Make a decision, because everything else needs to fall off. I had to cut the video because there was the garbage truck being very loud in the background. So yeah, I am talking to you, the kind of person that wants to embody this lethal humility. It means that you act from a place of service and not ego. It's not just about what you want, it's about what's best for you and everyone involved. And why do I call it lethal? I call it lethal because it really disarms manipulation. it disarms the manipulation, right? Because it is very much aware of the duality of things, of how there are two perspectives, two sides of the coin in every situation. And if you are able to just embody that and have no judgment for how the other one is feeling, and no judgment for yourself as well, then it's a lot easier to see how we can create a bridge instead of having a person win over the other. So it disarms manipulation. It disarms people that want to just pull strings that make you act and react in the way that they want you or need you to. It's like a way to completely cut through illusions. And it's also very, very calming, because usually people that are insecure are very loud, and the people that are more quiet and don't explain as much, those are the people that are truly confident. So that's how another way, in the way that it shows up, this humility that you are embodying. It commands respect without having to yell, to raise your voice, to make your point. It's rooted in self-awareness, self-acceptance. So this is a way in which you're going to access your power. In this current moment, I feel you working really hard towards it, noticing how you fall off the wagon, per se, because I know this is the person you are at your core. These are the things you desire for yourself. However, in the process of letting go, there's a lot of push and pull that is happening, and I know that you're going to make it through, because you, by this question that came up, are you living life in a loop? You recognize that something has to change. You have to interrupt this pattern. You have to break free from it. You have to do something different. And that's where you are, right? You are preparing in order to make this new leap. You're preparing to let something go. Let an old part of you die. And it feels really, really heavy at times. But every time you take a step towards the right direction, towards creating movement, towards creating resolve, towards bringing more clarity to the situation, you feel lighter. You feel better. I bet that even if you are having back pain, after you have some sort of difficult conversation that moves you forward, your back feels lighter. Yeah, you are in the presence of maybe living in the consequence of having taken that step, of having said that thing. You're living in the consequence, but your body feels better. The same thing happens with stomach issues. You may be having stomach problems, and after you clear the air, after you make a move, your stomach pain calms down. Your stomach issues resolve until they come back again, because like I said, this is a period of transition. I still see you in the cocoon. And until you break free from the cocoon is where you're going to be asked to fly. And I know it's coming. Those qualities are the qualities that you're going to embody. It's coming. I just wanted to acknowledge what you're going through and acknowledge the beautiful person that you are and that you are becoming. And I cannot wait to hear from you. To in the comments, let me know if you experience this, if you resonate, or if you're already there. Thank you so much for watching. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day.